Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Malaysia over the weekend at the invitation of Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Second round of tripartite talks between Russia, Ukraine and the United States begin in Abu Dhabi. Expiry of the nuclear weapons pact between the United States and Russia risks a new nuclear arms race. Gunmen kill at least 170 people in Nigeria's Kwara state. Ukraine's lead negotiator announced on Wednesday that a second round of peace negotiations between Russia and the Ukraine, mediated by the United States, has begun in the United Arab Emirates. Rustem Umarov wrote on X, another round of negotiations has begun in Abu Dhabi. He is the head of the Ukrainian delegation. He added that Kyiv's team was seeking to achieve a just and lasting peace. Umarov said that teams would also meet in separate groups to discuss specific negotiation tracks and would then follow up with a joint meeting to synchronize positions. The two-day trilateral meeting comes after President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Russia attacked its energy infrastructure last week with a record number of ballistic missiles. Russian President Vladimir Putin praised Moscow's growing economic, political and security partnership with Beijing on Wednesday. Putin described the ties with Chinese President Xi Jinping as a stabilizing factor amid global turbulence, underscoring the strategic importance of Russia-China cooperation in shaping international balance and strengthening resilience against mounting geopolitical challenges. The U.S. is still planning talks with Iranian officials this week, the White House said on Tuesday, even after the U.S. warplane shot down an Iranian drone that approached an American aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea. The U.S. military said that earlier an F-35C stealth fighter jet shot down the Iranian drone that aggressively drew near to the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Trump administration has accepted Iran's demands of holding talks this week in Oman instead of Turkey on Friday. As per reports, the scope of discussion would be narrowed to two-way negotiations on the nuclear issues, only adding new complications to an already delicate diplomatic effort. Iran's move to change the venue and agenda for the talks scheduled for Friday in Istanbul came amid heightened tensions as U.S. builds up forces in West Asia. The U.S. Federal Reserve Governor Stephen Miran has stepped down from his role as economic advisor to the Trump administration. The White House has confirmed that Miran's resignation fulfills a pledge he had made to the Senate to leave the administration if he continued serving at the central bank. President Trump had tapped Miran to complete the unfinished term of Adriana Kugler, a Biden appointee who resigned last year. While serving on the Fed board, Miran also held the chairmanship of the White House Council of Economic Advisors. Though he took an unpaid leave of absence, citing the short-term nature of his Fed appointment. U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday signed a spending bill into law that ended a brief partial government shutdown and gives the Congress more time to debate possible limits on his immigration crackdown. The legislation restores funding for defense, healthcare, labor, education, housing and other agencies, and temporarily extends funding for the Department of Homeland Security until February 13th, after the Department of Homeland Security funding lapsed because lawmakers hadn't acted in time. The bill cleared by the Senate with strong bipartisan support and narrowly passed the House 217 to 214. The previous shutdown lasted a record 43 days and cost the U.S. economy an estimated $11 billion. Pakistan has been shaken by a wave of continuous attacks carried out by the Balochistan Liberation Army. As tensions escalate, Pakistan's defense leader has admitted that the situation is serious. For the past several days, Pakistan has witnessed intense violence with attacks reported on hospitals, markets, jails, police stations and security installations. During the ongoing 50-hour Operation Hirof Phase 2, the BLA reportedly destroyed multiple Pakistan Army barracks in the province. Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif has described the situation as extremely alarming, highlighting the severity of the crisis. As per sources, Pakistan security forces have killed over 200 Baloch army personnel in southwestern Balochistan province. At least 170 people were killed in Nigeria's Kwara state when gunmen attacked a village on Tuesday. The assailants invaded Wodu village in the Kayama area around 6 p.m., setting shops ablaze. Nigerian police confirmed the attack but did not give official casualty figures. The Kwara state government blamed the violence on terrorist cells, with Governor Abdul Rasak condemning the assault as a cowardly expression of frustration by militants. 15 migrants died in the Aegean Sea of Greece on Tuesday after their boat collided with a Coast Guard vessel off the island of Chios. A Coast Guard official said that they spotted a dinghy transporting migrants towards Chios, which lies a few miles off the coast of Turkey, and ordered them to turn back. He added that smugglers maneuvered towards the Coast Guard vessel, causing a collision. The 2 Coast Guard officers were injured and transferred to hospital, and 24 migrants have been rescued. Witnesses reported that about 30 to 35 people were on board. Search and rescue was underway with Coast Guard vessels, private boats and divers assisting the operation. In Venezuela, thousands of government supporters marched through Caracas on Tuesday, demanding the release of Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores, marking 1 month since their capture by the United States military forces. Protesters displayed images of Maduro depicted as a superhero character called the Super Bigot, and held banners reading, "The empire kidnapped them, we want them back." Nicolas Maduro, a deputy and the son of the detained former president, addressed marchers from a stage, stating that January 3rd will remain marked like a scar on our face forever, when our homeland soil was desecrated by a foreign army. Maduro and Flores remained detained in the U.S. federal prison following the military incursion. The last nuclear treaty between Russia and the United States is due to expire within hours, raising the risk of a new arms race in which China will also play a key role. The web of arms control deals negotiated in decades since the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis, considered the closest the world ever came to intentional nuclear war, was aimed at reducing the chances of catastrophic nuclear exchange. Unless Washington and Moscow reach a last-minute understanding of some kind, the world's 2 biggest nuclear powers will be left without any limits for the first time in more than half a century, when the New START treaty expires. Earlier, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that in just a few days, the world will be a more dangerous position than it has ever been before.
Russia's initiative, outlined by President Vladimir Putin, is still on the table. We have not yet received a response from the US side. Time is running out, shrinking like the skin of Shahrin. Literally, in just a few days, the world will be in a more dangerous position than it has been until now.
Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. Artists in Herat in Afghanistan have welcomed UNESCO's recognition of painter Kamaluddin Behzad. The move has brought hope that amid difficult conditions, local artists can call the recognition joyful. The decision highlights Behzad's enduring artistic legacy. Ukrainian-born Danilo Yavahusishin has quickly risen to Japan's sumo wrestling ranks. The 21-year-old won his second straight title at the New Year Grand Sumo tournament in Tokyo last month. He is now one win away from reaching sumo's highest rank. Thousands of guaiaquin trees bloomed in southern Ecuador, turning the region yellow after the first seasonal rains in January. The rare phenomenon occurs once a year and it lasts about 7 days. If there is no rain, the bloom covers nearly 40,000 hectares of protected forest lands and attracted national and international tourists. Heavy snowfall covered Frankfurt in Germany under a thick blanket of snow within hours. Roads, buildings and public spaces were transformed into a winter landscape. The snowfall turned Frankfurt into a picturesque winter wonderland and delighting residents and visitors. And still to come up on this edition of DD India Live, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says the India-US trade relations to promote Make in India initiative. Security, he says, is government's priority. Tech stocks sink as Anthropic AI sparks global sell-off.
Open your mind to a whole new world. Explore mystic wonders of nature in the forests.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Amritpal Singh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will pay an official visit to Malaysia from the 7th to 8th of this month. That's coming Saturday, Sunday. Prime Minister Modi's Malaysia visit is taking place at the invitation of Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. This would be the third visit of Prime Minister to Malaysia. During the visit, the Prime Minister will hold bilateral discussions with Prime Minister Ibrahim. Prime Minister will also interact with members of the Indian community as well as from the industry and business representatives. The 10th India-Malaysia CEO Forum is also coinciding with the visit of Prime Minister. India and Malaysia share long-standing bonds of friendship based on historical, civilizational and cultural connections. The relationship is further strengthened by the presence of 2.9 million strong Indian diaspora in Malaysia. In fact, it is the third largest diaspora. India-Malaysia relationship is multifaceted and growing. The forthcoming visit of the Prime Minister serves as an opportunity for both leaders to review the entire gamut of bilateral relations. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, while making a statement in the Rajya Sabha on the India-US tariff reduction, announced assured Parliament that the country's primary concerns, particularly in the agriculture sector, have been fully addressed in the trade agreement.
कृषि क्षेत्र में भारत की प्रमुख संवेदनशीलता को पूर्णतः ध्यान रखा गया है। साथ ही यह साझेदारी लघु एवं मध्यम उद्यमों MSMEs, उद्यमियों, कुशल श्रमिकों और उद्योग के लिए नए अवसर खोलेगी।
Earlier in the Lok Sabha, Piyush Goyal said that India and the US are highly complementary economies. The minister also assured the centre that centre will diversify energy resources and also safeguard energy for the public.
मैं स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूं, जैसा कि सरकार ने कई बार सार्वजनिक रूप से कहा है कि 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की ऊर्जा आवश्यकताओं की सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करना सरकार की सर्वोत्तम प्राथमिकता है। वस्तुनिष्ठ बाजार स्थितियों और बदलते अंतर्राष्ट्रीय परिदृश्यों के अनुरूप ऊर्जा स्रोतों में विविधता लाना हमारी इस कार्यनीति का मूल आधार है। भारत की सभी कार्रवाइयां इसी बात को ध्यान में रखकर की जाती हैं। अतः मैं माननीय सदस्यों से इन मुद्दों को समुचित दृष्टिकोण से देखने का आग्रह करता हूं।
Chief Economic Advisor of the Government of India, V. Ananta Nageswaran, said that Budget 2026 pays attention to urbanization with city economic regions to boost Tier 2 and Tier 3 city growth. Addressing the PhD Chambers of Commerce and Industry's post-budget analysis, Nageswaran stressed on in-house manufacturing for a stronger currency.
Manufacturing has taken on a different dimension in the new world of geopolitical fragmentation. And that is why the economic survey cover itself shows a ship laden with containers of manufactured goods. So manufacturing matters, exports matter for currency stability and strength, and also for strategic leverage. And the budget does a very good job of taking forward the agenda of placing India as a preeminent manufacturing power in the years to come.
Addressing the media, Revenue Secretary Arvind Srivastava said that Union budget focuses on targeted changes that will benefit individual and salaried taxpayers. That includes extension of return filings for 3 months.
Now, revising the return is not just an exercise of numbers. It is also, you will appreciate practically, reducing the risk of your returns getting entangled in the subsequent processes. The more accurate it is, the more consistent it is, the better it is for you probably not to be engaged with the department. So this extension of 3 months is actually giving you the power to control how it will go forward from there.
India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is in the United States to attend critical minerals ministerial meet being convened by the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Ahead of the meeting, S. Jaishankar met US Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Jaishankar said he had wide-ranging conversations regarding bilateral cooperation agenda, regional and global issues. Both leaders agreed on the early meetings of various mechanisms to advance shared interests. The External Affairs Minister also met with US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Taking to social media, Minister said he had useful discussion with Bessent on advancement of India-US economic partnership and the strategic partnership. Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan, accompanied by the Indian delegation, interacted with Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Republic of Armenia, Robert Abivsko-Monian. The discussions focused on exchanging perspectives on the regional security, environment and bilateral issues. between India and Armenia. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has invited citizens to watch his special Pariksha Pe Charcha episode on Friday to witness the ongoing conversations of collective spirit of Indian youth. As examination season approaches, Prime Minister once again engaged with young students through the Pariksha Pe Charcha. This year, the interaction with the sessions were held with exam warriors in Dev Mogra, Coimbatore, Raipur, Guwahati and at the 7 LKM mark. He emphasized the importance of stress-free exams and shared practical insights into overcoming challenges, maintaining balance and nurturing confidence. Pariksha Pe Charcha is an annual dialogue hosted by Prime Minister Modi since 2018, where experts, educators and the Prime Minister provides students with tips on reducing exam stress and time management and positive mindset.
It's such a fantastic initiative that our Prime Minister Honorable Narendra Modi ji has taken. The students are super blessed, I would say, because I wish we had this at our times, where your own Prime Minister connects to such young minds and helps them, encourages them and makes them realize that they should not be conscious that somebody is judging them. They should work on their abilities, stay positive, focused, work on their strengths and never ever get dissuaded, because exams are just the journey, not your final destination. And simply with such a fantastic initiative taken, I would say make most of it. And I would like to encourage all the students. You are not judged by anybody. You have support from home. You have support through all of us, and the entire nation is going to support you.
Prime Minister's Pariksha Pe Charcha reminds us something more fundamental, which is the emotional architecture of a student's success. We at SRM doesn't see this as an event, but a movement towards ensuring students' mental resilience. We should shift our narrative from testing memory to tasting success. As an educator, we should ensure that a student's worth is never reduced to a percentage.
Global technology stocks, along with the Indian IT peers, witnessed a sharp sell-off after Anthropic unveiled a new legal AI tool. Anthropic is a private company which makes these tools, reigniting fears of intensifying competition in software services sector. The AI developer, best known for his Claude chatbot, announced the release of 11 open source plugins for its Claude tool on January 30th. The launch triggered what analysts are calling a SaaS apocalypse in a brutal market rout that erased nearly $285 billion in value from software, legal tech and financial services stocks in a single trading session. Meanwhile, Indian IT companies saw sharp declines. Wipro dropped about 3.7%, while Infosys, LTI, Mindtree and Persistent were down over 6% each. Courage and TCS, Coforge and TCS also slipped by about 5%. That's it in this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. The app is available both on Android and iOS platforms. You can download from the QR codes that you see on your screen. And that's it from me. Thanks for watching.